Now, we introduce all this because, well, it's the sites where you need to determine whether or not you need to install a domain controller or not, or even multiple domain controllers. When we're talking about DCs, domain controllers are the host of Active Directory. They're the ones that contain the Active Directory database. And every Active Directory domain controller generally has an equal copy of the AD database as every other domain controller. It's a multi-master model, with each one transferring its contents to the other so that everyone has a shared vision of what that database is. Now, generally in most configurations, a minimum of 2 domain controllers is required for a single domain. Those 2 domain controllers ensure that should you power one off or reboot one for the purposes of patching or it just dies or what have you, you still have additional services that are out there to support this very mission-critical service that is Active Directory. But things get a little bit more complex when you start moving into the world of multiple sites. So in multiple sites, I may need to have multiple domain controllers in my primary location, maybe Denver, where most of the users sit. I may also need to have additional domain controllers in another site, like Las Vegas. Maybe I have a lot of users in Las Vegas as well, and so putting an additional 2 DCs in Las Vegas to handle their load can become important as well. Maybe Phoenix is a smaller site, and so only a single domain controller is sufficient to service their needs. So when you're thinking about planning your Active Directory, you kind of have to think about how much hardware does each individual site need. And it is the definition of these different sites and services and how they're configured which ends up driving those decisions.